So I'm doing this video right about now. I'm starting the London Marathon. I didn't want to say what I think I could run before the race. I don't want the pressure. So I'm going to say what I think I'm going to run during the race. So anyway, for anyone watching, this is how I think the race is going to go. Now, training's gone really well. I had a little blip with the stomach bug, which made me miss probably a session and a half, and my weekly mileage dropped down. I don't think that's going to bother me at all. I really don't. If anything, it helped me recover, refresh, because I'd had a couple of really big weeks. I'd had the Thirsk 10 mile, 90 mile week, then into a 100 mile week with some pretty big sessions, and I had a couple which were only had a day's recovery in between, which that was hard. That was probably the toughest block. Well, the toughest week out of the block, I should say. So the marathon, my experience is very limited. I've got bags of experience at half, not so much at the full. I've got Chester, and that wasn't a race where I ran out to run as fast as I could. I went out and just enjoyed it. Got a bit carried away with my mate, and then because I was so far under my threshold, I was able to close really strong relative to fitness at the time. And that was I think my last 5k was 16:45, which is it's good going, especially the last 3 miles of a marathon. It's a bit of a skewed perspective based on how easy I was going heart rate wise in probably the first 15-18 miles of the race. I think my heart rate was only about 150, whereas I'd want to be high 150, low 160, no higher than 166. So on to London, I need to set out around the high 150s on my heart rate, but I need to gauge that pace and effort. Now I am going to run with a watch and a heart rate, but that's more for me recording the data as opposed to checking it. I will keep an eye on the first 3 to 5 miles to make sure I'm not doing anything stupid, because adrenaline, fresh, race day, just the whole occasion, I will end up going quicker than I should. So I'll be holding back, backing off, and that'll hopefully make things overall feel easier. So come 10k, I'd like to think I'm almost tripping over myself, wanting to go, but it's all about just holding and holding and holding, and not going too soon, not dropping into that threshold type running too early, because you can't sustain it, and I know I won't be able to. So if my heart rate starts to go up to that 166, that's kind of the magic line where it'll begin to bite and my legs will start to produce more lactate than my body can clear. That's where things will go wrong. So I need to keep the heart rate around the 160 effort. I've done a lot of training to feel, and I know roughly what that feels like. So that's going to be a huge positive for me, really. So the big question is, what pace is that? I don't know, because I've not done it on fresh legs. I've not done it in a race. I've not done it with full fuel, where I'm going to have like 6 or 7 gels. Not done it with constant water stations. Big thing, I've not run in a group. So much easier running in a group. You can switch off, you can relax. So I'm not going to be clock watching, definitely not. I'm going to be heart rate watching, and that is it. The pace, the times will come based on how I feel. If I'm having a bad day, times are going to be a bit slower. If I'm having a good day, times are going to be a bit quicker. And for me, that's the most important thing here. It's about running to feel and heart rate. So I need to kind of do a best guess based on all of those factors and having a good day as to what I think I can do. My best gauge is my last session I did, well, not my final session, the last big one I did, 10 miles in 5:24s, and then I did the 5k pickup after. Now, heart rate wise, I averaged 159 for that, and 159 is perfect pacing really for what I want to see. First 10 miles, first half marathon of Sunday. Now, that's 524s. I think that's 524s is 222 pace. And that's good, but that's not what I want. However, that was on tired legs. That was in the wind. That was under 160 average heart rate. I was in my Fast R3 show times, which are my exact ratio. That's the fancy colourway PUMA have given us to wear, and they look good. They look really good. I like them. They're really going to stand out. But yeah, I ran in those. Conditions were a bit breezy, but I felt like I was cruising exactly how I'd want to feel in the marathon. I was well under that threshold, nice and controlled. So I feel like race conditions, those 524s become 520s, 518s. So I feel like that's kind of pace I'm going to be at up to halfway. It's just a case of how long I can hold that 518s and whether I can pick up and drop into more half marathon effort for the last 5 miles. Now that's where it's going to be brutally hard. You've got an hour 45, hour 50 running in your legs, and then you're expecting your body to push and pick up. Now I need to try and keep that heart rate under 166 until that final push, last few miles. Now what I really need to be mindful of is the threshold, because that changes as the race goes on. It's not consistent. It will be for like first 15 miles maybe, but in the latter stages that'll change. Fatigue sets in, dehydration sets in, mental fatigue sets in, and what that means is the heart rate that produces a lactate, say 166, which would equate to say 508, 509 pace in the early stages. In the latter stages, that's going to be slower, but I don't know how much slower. 10 seconds a mile, 12 seconds a mile. So I need to compensate my running to make sure I'm not redlining based on heart rate. Heart rate doesn't lie, paces do. You can get caught up in the occasion, you could have a tailwind, you could be on the downhill, you could just be feeling amazing and your perceived effort is way down, but your heart rate will always be the same. It just doesn't feel hard because of the environment. So that's something I've got to be mindful of. So there is going to be a natural drop off, or I have to then work harder to maintain that pace. Now I'm hoping if I'm running that 518 pace, I've got a little buffer. I'm within myself enough where when I do really start to knuckle down and work hard to hold that pace, I can hold it, and I'm not going to go in the red zone until the last, hopefully within the last 5k, and then the finish is near, and it's just about giving absolutely everything to get to the finish line. And I think I can do that. Now the one variable, well there's a few variables I can't control, but the one main variable in all of this is people to run with. I don't know what other people are going to do, so I could be faced with, there could be a group going at 68.30, just 25 seconds through the half quicker than maybe what I can do, or there could be one at 69.30 or 70 minutes. They're like the 220 group. Do I go with the faster guys? Do I go with the slower guys? Or do I solo in the middle if I'm on my own? Now I've no issue soloing, but it uses more energy. I've done my last couple of races, probably like 80-90% solo, and yeah, I've performed, but if I was in a group, could I have done better? So I would much prefer to be running with people. So that's what I'd likely do. I'll jump on a group. Now if I'm running along and there's an option for a 68.30 group, I'm probably going to take it. over a 69.30 because I know that within myself I'm still under that red line and I'll be confident I can hold it. My drop off in the latter stages might be a little bit bigger, but running with people is kind of invaluable, and you might find as the race goes on, I'll tag onto them, latch onto them, and they'll drag me, and then suddenly they've pulled me along to an even better time. So it's hard to predict. Other variables, the weather. Can't predict, well, you can predict the weather, but you can't control it. So you've just got to kind of run in what it is. Currently the long range forecast looks bright. I think 5 or 6 miles an hour wind, perfect. Can deal with that. I've been running in a lot worse the last few months. Kind of weighing everything up. Here is how I think the race is going to go. I think I'm going to go out quite conservative, latch onto a group, and there's going to be a big group of us going through halfway in 68, 30, 68, 35. That's where I think we're going to be at. And that's going to be a sub 2:17 type group. A few are going to push on, and I think I'm going to maintain and hold, and then I'm going to fall off a little, but I don't think I'm going to drop off a lot. I'm well trained, I'm going to be well fueled, loaded up on carbs, drinking plenty, and here's the number: 2:17:37. That's my prediction, and I hope I'm right, but that's where I think I'm going to finish. Hey, I could be absolutely miles out. I could fall off, run way outside 2:20, but you know what? First hard marathon, and I've given it a damn good go, and I will do anything and everything to run as hard as I possibly can, and I'll be racing to the line. I'll not give up, I'll keep fighting, and I'm going to obliterate my Project 3 target. And hey, I might be in shout with biggest improver, you never know, but that's my time: 2:17:37. There we have it, prediction made. We could be miles out, but it's what my head wants me to do and my heart. So that's it, fingers crossed.